أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا ومولانا محمد صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اهتدى بهداهم إلى يوم الدين. Amma ba'd. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Welcome to the House of Dua. Welcome to the platform from which you learn about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, about His creation, about His message, about His messenger, and about His chosen religion known as Al-Islam. The channel from which you learn how to succeed in the world we live now and how to succeed when you meet Allah on the day of accountability. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, first of all, let's give praise to Allah. Let's thank Him for all He has done for us and all that He has not done for us. For whatever He has not done for us, He did not do so because He knows they were not good for us. And in fact, He knows what is best for us. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, among other things, who made it possible for us to wake up this morning. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because there are many of us who went to bed last night. They didn't wake up this morning. And there are some who woke up this morning into a number of difficulties. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant relief to those who are in difficulties. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive the sins of the believers who have passed away. And in fact, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make life easy for us. My dear brothers, my dear sisters, today we are coming to you with an amazing revelation. Whether you are just an ordinary Muslim or a scholar or an imam, you got to learn a lot from what we are about to present to you today. And in fact, what we have today cannot be finished today. We're going to have section 2 of this presentation. First of all, we have been coming to you with verses from the Quran, what we call a message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We encourage you every day, when you wake up or before you go to bed, check your cell phone. Check your cell phone and find out the guidance Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent to you. A message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A message that is designed to improve your life, to guide you to the straight path, to take you away from the difficulties of this life. These are the messages we are bringing to you from this channel. Therefore, I encourage you to make yourself a companion of the Quran. Our goal here is to make ourselves a companion of the Quran, verse by verse. We want to be familiar with the Quran, the only true book in existence sent to mankind for guidance. Therefore, make effort to be a companion of the Quran. It's your book of salvation, of protection, of defense against those enemies who do not want to see you. It's a book of guidance for you in this world and the hereafter. Today, we are coming to you with verse 67 of Surah al-Baqarah. And if time permits, before the end of the second session, we're going to carry it up to verse 74 of Surah al-Baqarah. My dear brothers, my dear sisters, these are amazing verses. Have you ever asked yourself, what is the meaning of Surah al-Baqarah? What are its qualities? Why is it so named? This is what we are about to bring to you, so that we learn powerful lessons for our lives. First of all, before we bring you why Surah al-Baqarah is so named, we want to tell you the qualities of this surah, so that you know what you have, and you are not appreciating the value, unfortunately. Surah al-Baqarah is chapter 2 of the Holy Quran. And of course, the longest surah of the Quran. Longest in the sense that it has the highest number of verses in the Quran, 286 verses. And in total, it contains 286 verses, 6,201 words, and 25,500 letters. That's an enormous size of a surah. This is a surah that was revealed to the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam soon after he stepped into Medina. It's the first surah to be revealed to the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam in Medina. So it's called a Medina surah, even though there are verses in it that are also regarded as Makkah verses. But the surah was revealed to the Prophet in Medina. And this surah contains the highest number of commandments and prohibitions and words of wisdom and historical references that will be of value to you. It has about 1,000 commandments, 1,000 prohibitions, 1,000 words of wisdom and another 1,000 references to the past events that will be of value to you. This is a surah that the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam told us that this surah is the apex of the Quran, in the sense that when the verses were coming down, over 80 angels accompanied each verse of this surah to this planet. And when these verses were coming down, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala designated them as verses of relief. According to the hadith narrated by Abu Hurairah, and the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam says, in a house in which Surah al-Baqarah is recited regularly, those who have ability to harm you cannot stay in that house. They cannot gain entry to that house. Men of falsehood cannot have access to you. Who are the men of falsehood? Those who depend on sorceries, soothsayers, magic, and all kinds of concoctions that are designed to harm you. They won't find access to you. The Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam also stated that this surah contains the most powerful verse in the Quran, known as Ayatul Kursi, the verse of the stool of Allah, or the verse of the throne of Allah, if you like. Ayatul Kursi. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum. All of us know it by heart, but how many of us make good use of it? The Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam also made it clear to us that whenever this surah is recited, the Satan and the jinns, they will run far away. This is your protection against the jinns. This is your protection against the Satan or shaitan. This is the protection you have against those who make magic, those who make sorceries, those who make all kinds of medicine, the babalawos, the soothsayers. This is the medicine you have against them. Do you read it every day? Why can you not be defenseless? You have a weapon, you have a tool, you are not making use of it, and you are complaining every day. And that's not all that the Prophet has told us. The Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam also told us that whoever reads this surah, barakah of Allah comes down from the sky upon that person and upon his family. Yes. Barakah of Allah comes in abundance upon that person and upon his family. And whoever continuously reads this surah, that person will gain immunity against the evils of other creatures of this planet. My dear brothers, my dear sisters, this surah contains the last verse referred to the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam before the revelation ceased. This is a verse that was revealed to the Prophet about 80 to 90 days before his death. And after that, revelation stopped. And that is verse 281 of Surah al-Baqarah. وَاتَّقُوا يَوْمًا تُرْجَعُونَ فِيهِ إِلَى اللَّهِ ثُمَّ تُوَفَّى كُلُّ نَفْسٍ مَا كَسَبَتْ وَهُمْ لَا يُظْلَمُونَ. Fear a day that you are coming back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when you come to him, he will hold you to account. And no one can escape the judgment of Allah. My dear brothers, my dear sisters, this surah has enormous values for all of us. If only we could sit down to read it. I know it's long, but start with the few verses you know. Here is what the Prophet told us again in his hadith. The Prophet says there are 3 sets of verses in this surah that constitute your medicine against evil, against those who make medicine, against those who wish to harm you. These are the first 4 verses of Surah al-Baqarah, beginning from ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. Alif Lam Mim. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ وَمَا أُنزِلَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ أُولَئِكَ عَلَى هُدًى مِنْ رَبِّهِمْ وَأُولَئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. Those were the first 4 verses of Surah al-Baqarah, beginning from ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. The next 3 verses are the verses that begin from Ayatul Kursi up to the end of Ayatul Kursi, followed by La Ikraha Fidin. Then followed by Allahu waliyul ladzina amanu yukhrijuhum min adh-dhulumati ilan-nur walladzina kafaru awliya'uhum taghut yukhrijunahum min an-nuri ila adh-dhulumat ulaika ashabun nar hum fiha khalidun. Then the last 3 verses of Surah al-Baqarah, up to the end of Surah al-Baqarah. These are the 10 verses that constitute your protection against evil, against magic, against jinns, against shaitan, against those who wish you harm. Read it every day. Read it every day and see what will come to you, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam. And finally, in the consensus opinion of most of the commentators of the Quran, the Mufassirun, Surah al-Baqarah, including the entire Holy Quran, is a response to the famous dua contained in Surah al-Fatiha. Ihdina siratal mustaqim, siratal ladzina an'amta alaihim, ghairil maghdubi alaihim waladdallin. We ask Allah, guide us to the straight path, the path of those whom you love, not the path of those who have gone astray. That is why Surah al-Baqarah begins with ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. You need that guidance that you ask for in Surah al-Fatiha. Surah al-Baqarah is telling you, here is the guidance. This is a book, without doubt. It's a guidance to the entire mankind. And to show you the way of guidance in the world we live, that's what the entire Quran is all about. So that you'll be guided in this world and you will have a better life in the hereafter. So those who need guidance, therefore, and truly seek it by reciting Surah al-Fatiha, then they must also learn to read Surah al-Baqarah, including the entire Quran. So, why is Surah al-Baqarah called Surah al-Baqarah? Allahu Akbar Kabir. That's what we are going to continue with tomorrow. But let's recite the verse in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us why Surah al-Baqarah is named after Surah al-Baqarah. وَذِكْرَ مُوسَىٰ لِقَوْمِهِ يَا قَوْمِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْمُرُكُمْ أَن تَذْبَحُوا بَقَرَةً قَالُوا أَتَتَّخِذُنَا هُزُوًا قَالَ أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ أَنْ أَكُونَ مِنَ الْجَاهِلِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, remember, Ya Muhammad, that once upon a time, Prophet Musa alayhi salam told his people, Allah has commanded you to make sacrifice with a cow, al-Baqarah. Al-Baqarah actually means a calf. A calf is a little bit smaller than a cow, but bigger than a donkey. But for the purpose of what we are familiar with in our environment, let's call it a cow. Allah has asked you to make sacrifice with a cow. What was the immediate response of the people? They charged at Musa alayhi salam and told him, are you here to make jest of us? Are you here to make mockery of us? Yeah, Musa. Then Musa replied, I seek refuge in Allah against being one of those who are ignorant. I'm telling you something of value. You are asking me whether I'm making jest of you. That's how the name of Surah al-Baqarah came about. We shall tell you the beautiful story tomorrow. Stay with us and see the value of what you have, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam. So let us recite Surah al-Baqarah every day. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it beneficial to all of us. Take shaitan away from our lives and take our lives far away from the shaitan. Protect us against those who do not wish us well. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us and protect our children. And if you need that protection, remain with Surah al-Baqarah. Until I see you tomorrow, keep reading Surah al-Baqarah. Subhanallah wa bihamdik, subhanaka Allahumma bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Alhamdulillah.